Motherfucking Royal Highness, the Queen, and my girl, the baddest.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So we're back for story time 2. Hey besties, so now we are back with part 2. So for part 1, there's a bit of parts of the story that I kind of forgot to mention, but I know that they are very incremental for the next part of the story, so I thought I should add them in now. So in part 1, I did mention the time where I was academically excluded from UCT, but I didn't mention the times where I was actually financially excluded. So there was a time where I was passing, doing well, everything's fine, I still had my bursary, but because I was in the most expensive university in South Africa, the bursary wasn't enough to cover my tuition and accommodation, so I had about 25,000 rands that I still had to pay above and beyond being fully funded. So what I did during that time, I got an extra job and worked during winter school at UCT. And then there was a bit of like a lag with the time that I was going to get my payment. So I asked one of my friends' moms to borrow me the money, and then I'll pay it back to her when I get paid. And I also did some crowdfunding online. I think I was still short with about 4,000 rand. I think this was like the second time I needed like some extra funding. So I've done some crowdfunding, and then I think I needed 4,000 rand, and then I opened a GoFundMe account, and my friends shared the link on Facebook and Twitter, and I got the 4,000 rand within like 4 days, and then I was able to register and then do my third year. So as I was saying, then I got the funding, then I registered for my third year, but then that's when my mental health just sunk. And then like I said, when I got academic excluded, that's when my bursary actually dropped me. So for the rest of my degree until I graduated, I was funded by NSFAS. So after graduating, so I had a suspended bursary. So it was suspended. So I contacted my bursary and I asked them, okay, so are we reinstating or must I pay back the money? Like, what is happening? So for 5 months, I was doing it back and forth, calling like every day, because I couldn't move forward without knowing like what is the status. And also when I passed my SUP, I wrote obviously my SUP in Jan, and I got my results in Feb. And then when I was going to finish my registration process with UNISA, they were striking. So in 2018, I took a forced gap year because I couldn't register to study. And I wanted to start my articles, so I didn't want to continue studying full-time. I was like, no, I'm done, I need to work, and I've wasted a lot of time, and I need to catch up with the CASA journey. So I was 5.5 years in, because I spent 5.5 years at UCT, so I was like, you know what, now post-grad, I need to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I need to do my post-grad, and my board 1 and board 2 exams, and my articles at the same time, because I'm running out of time. So 5 months of back and forth, I'm being told this and that, being told to call this person and this person, until I eventually snapped. I snapped, and then I did the craziest thing ever. Let me take a sip for that. So what I did is that I tweeted my bursary, I found their Twitter account, and I just went on a rampage. I said I think 15 tweets, telling my story and saying, listen, I just need an answer. I need somebody to do their job. That's all you have to do. It's not rocket science. It's either you reinstate the bursary or you tell me I'm paying back the money. I can't be in a suspended bursary because now I need to move on to the next stage of this journey. It's either you guys are going to fund me or not, and I sign with someone else, kind of vibe. So eventually, after that drama, that Twitter, last tweet was like, admin, I will not stop tweeting until someone answers me. Bangena with DMs, trying to calm me down, and then got to, okay, we'll give us your number, we'll get someone to call you. And I got into contact with them, and then they gave me a job But they said I could start my articles in 2019 officially, because to start my articles I had to either have my postgrad, my CTA, or I would need to be registered to be studying CTA. But because I couldn't now with UNISA, all the striking, I couldn't register in 2018, I would start in 2019, but they gave me an audit clerk contract. So I was just working, doing the job of a trainee, but not really being a trainee. So besties, I started my articles in 2019. So that's when I started my articles, and then I also registered finally with UNISA to do my CTA. So when I did my audit clerk contract for like about 6 months before starting my articles, so I got some experience. And then when I actually officially started my articles and worked with different teams, I didn't know, but I already built up like a reputation with the people that I was previously working with, and they were actually singing my praises amongst the firm. So by the time I started my next audit, I was already like dubbed as the super trainee, and I was like, okay. That time I didn't know, I was just working, because obviously I fought to get in here. So I was like, okay, I fought, I'm in, so now I actually need to prove myself, I need to actually bring it. So I brought it, and it was well received. And then when I started, I was dubbed the super trainee. So the pressure was on, but and I was also studying. So the first time I did my CTA, I actually failed. And when I look back, as I reflected, is the reason I failed was because I overworked myself, because I had built up this reputation and now I wanted to maintain. So yeah, I focused more on work and gaining that validation, and then my studies sort of lacked in that sense. So at CTA you do 5 modules, so when I wrote my exams, I only passed 1 out of the 5. And then by the grace of God, I got 2 subs, and then the other 2 modules I failed, but then UNISA had the concession to give like supplementary exams. So for 2 of the other modules, I also got a sub. So I wrote 4 supplementary exams that January, and then I passed 3 out of the 4. So because with CTA, if you want to write your board exams, you need to pass all 5 modules in one sitting. So because I only passed 4 out of the 5, I had to redo everything the next year, which many people who are not doing this journey find shocking, but yeah, see how abuse. So I redid the entire 5 in 2020, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to set boundaries. I'm not going to overwork myself. I'm going to put my studies first. So I spoke to my managers, and I was like, listen, studies first. You guys saw what happened the first year. I was killing your audits, but lacking in the books. So now I will maintain the same standard, but don't overwork me, because the main focus is on my books. So in 2020, during the pandemic, no subs, clean, straight, 5 modules in the bag, I passed. And in the same year, I was also chairperson of the Training Auditor Forum at our firm. So while dealing with my studies, while working, I was also doing these forums, lots of meetings, and also 2020 was like the worst year to be on a forum, because everything was just going wrong. And then in that forum space, we took all the concerns and issues from the trainees, and then we would speak to management, try and find solutions. And also we were part of the COVID-19 committee at our firm. So it was a lot going on, but through all of that, I juggled all of that, and I eventually passed my CTA. So besties, in 2019, besides being overworked, I was also like, my mental health took a dip. High level of stress, articles are no joke. Like, you work like around the clock, like 7 days a week, overtime every day. You need to be the person that you have to put your foot down and say, listen, I'm not going to work overtime. I have to actually study. So it was a lot. And I started as a senior on the audit, so I'm helping everyone as well. I'm trying to do my work. I'm getting more work, and I'm that person that likes to juggle a lot of things at the same time. So I'm juggling multiple components, moving from component to component. It's a lot. And then after that, I need to study. So my mental health took a dip. But at work, they had this employee wellness service where you call and talk to like a counselor. I used to call there and tell girls about what I'm going through. Hey, go get a glass of water. So again, they're calling your phone, and then I tell obviously the person I'm talking to what I'm going through, what I'm busy doing, blah blah blah, and then they usually go around and tell me about, yo, Sissy, you're inspiring me to go back to school. Like, you're doing so great, sweetie. And I'm like, yo, go. But yeah, so my mental health did take a dip. But because of my experiences at UCT, I knew, okay, now if I feel like this, okay, you're going through it, go get help before it gets worse. But then obviously I did continue overworking myself because I had the standard that I wanted to maintain. So when I eventually wrote those exams, when I passed 1 out of 5 modules, my anxiety was like high key, like peaking. I remember before writing the module, the only module I passed that day, I'd marked a past paper that I did, and then I went to the office. Then I went to the office, I marked it at the office, and then the bottom about, yo, I actually don't know what's going on here. And I panicked. I had like a mini panic attack. And then I went to one of the senior manager's office, and I told her, listen, I don't think I want to write this exam. I think I'll just defer it and write in Jan. And then she was like, listen, calm down, go home. You can't be doing past papers the day before exams. Calm your mind, go over your principles, and then go and write. So I did that, and that's the only module I passed. And when I told her, I was like, babes, I should have came to you before all my exams because you clearly knew how to calm my anxiety. But yeah, so I had to repeat all my modules again. And then during that time, obviously everything was going on, like COVID, like lockdown. We are now writing online. I think even like a few days before we wrote, we didn't even know we were going to write because UNISA wasn't saying anything. But so everyone is prepping, but we're like, we can't leave the house, lockdown, so palanjan. And then UNISA was like, no, babes, UNISA pala online from home. And we're like, okay, wow. And then the rest of the year we just had to write online, and you could choose to like handwrite and scan, or you could type. So first exam I handwrote, scanned, biggest mistake. I was like, no ways, because I didn't even have a printer or anything. Like I scanned with my phone, but like scanning all those pages that you like handwritten, it was a mission. Like, and you had like 15 minutes to like take away pictures, scan, and then upload everything. And I literally like for test 1, I uploaded like within a minute. And some people like didn't get the time to upload, technical difficulties, all of that. Then for the rest of the test, I was like, no, babes, you type at the speed of light, you type every day at work, so you're going to type these exams, hun. So I practiced typing, and then I wrote like typing for the final exam, writing from home. So besties, for any of you that are on the CASA journey and you're starting off your articles, my word of advice is put your studies first. Don't overwork yourself, don't go above and beyond, especially if you need to study. Like always set your boundaries with your managers, especially if you're good, because if you're good, that's what happened to me, bad abuser. If you're good, the work is just going to pile up. I was saying that we had at work, hard work is rewarded with more work, literally. Like the faster you work, the faster you're going to go through a lot of work, while your peers, bare minimum king and queens, will be just doing normal work. You earn the same salary, because even if you're earning overtime, if you're doing the work in half the time, you're getting half the overtime than your neighbor that's taking the full amount of time to do the work. So don't play yourself. Put your studies first, set your boundaries, work on your mental health, have a mentor. I had a lot of people that actually supported me, my colleagues, my friends, my family. So you need like a big support system, because it takes a lot. It takes a village. I had like how many CAs behind me pushing me to get to this point. So you need that solid support system. And also I'd like to shout out to my colleagues that were my tutors. So at work we had like an in-house like tutoring program where our own colleagues would actually tutor us after hours at no cost. So thank you so much for all the hours that you sacrificed to help us. So thank you guys for joining and listening to part 2 of the story. And I'll see you in part 3. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Bye! See you next time, besties.
Yay! Okay, good. I'm trying to find the right angle.
Your arms. We're gonna take a break now. I just need to kill this outro.
Okay.
Side profile perfect for your liking.
Yes.
Right, Kikri.
No, but the thing is, I keep on trying to hold it.
First sip of the day.